The phone that rang. The rain had been tapping against my window all evening, soft at first, then insistent, like someone trying to get your attention without knocking. The kind of rain that makes a room feel smaller, tighter, almost suffocating, even when it's just a modest little apartment. I sat hunched on my sagging couch, half listening to a radio talk show I'd already heard a dozen times, staring at the stack of unopened letters on the coffee table. It was one of those nights where the world outside seemed to slow down. No traffic, no laughter, no familiar background noise, just wet asphalt and distant, lonely streetlights. I'm a simple man, 30-something, working a cubicle job where no one really notices you unless you mess up. My life is predictable. Work, home, maybe a book if I can stay awake, then sleep. I like it that way, comforting in its monotony. But there's one thing I can't shake. I hear things, little things, small noises that aren't supposed to exist. A creak in the floorboards, the sigh of the radiator, a whisper of static from an old speaker. My friends would say I overthink it. Maybe they're right. And that's when the phone rang. Alone. At first, I thought I imagined it. The kind of ringing that jolts your chest and then lingers like a shadow across your vision. The static in the line seemed thicker than usual, like it was pressing against my ear. I hesitated, staring at the receiver as if it were a live snake. Shadows danced oddly across the walls, stretching taller than the furniture, stretching longer than they should. I had no reason to pick it up. No one called me at this hour. No one, ever. And yet curiosity is a hard thing to resist. I lifted the receiver. A faint click, a hiss, and then nothing. But I could have sworn the silence was waiting for me to speak first. Something about it didn't feel normal. Something about it whispered, no, promised, that my ordinary night was about to get a lot less ordinary. The phone rang again, not once, but twice, sharp and deliberate, as if whoever or whatever was calling wanted me to know this wasn't a mistake. I stared at it for a long second, every nerve in my body tense. Then I picked up. Silence. Not the kind of silence you get when someone hangs up, but a living kind. Heavy, breathing, slow, raspy, measured, like an animal pretending to be human. I froze. Hello, I whispered. No reply, just breath. Then a faint click and the line went dead. From that moment, everything in my apartment felt wrong. The hum of the refrigerator was louder, the shadows heavier. My own reflection in the window looked slightly off, like it was waiting for me to turn away. I told myself it was stress, overwork, too many late nights scrolling through horror podcasts I should have ignored. But things started to move. Not much, just enough to make me question my sanity. The lamp angled differently, the chair slightly out of place. The photo frame turned face down when I was sure I hadn't touched it. Then the lights flickered. Not random flickers, 3 short bursts, a pause, then one long. Like Morse code. I actually laughed, nervous, hollow, because what else could I do? The next night, I saw the caller ID. My stomach turned to ice. My own number. The phone screamed at me, my number flashing over and over as if mocking me. I didn't answer. Couldn't. When it stopped, I checked the call log. It wasn't there. Friends said I was tired, that I needed sleep. Maybe see someone. But sleep was impossible. Every night the phone rang at 3:07 a.m. Every night closer. The first time, it was across the room. The second, I could swear it came from the hallway. The third, from inside the apartment. And then came the whispers. Soft at first, like someone standing just behind me, speaking through a smile. I started hearing footsteps too. Slow, careful, circling me when I sat still long enough. I began to dig for logic. Called the phone company. Checked records. Nothing. No trace of any incoming calls. I even asked my neighbors if they'd been hearing anything strange. They hadn't. But last night, when I pressed my ear to the wall, I didn't hear silence. I heard my own voice whisper back, "Don't answer next time." And that's when I realized the call wasn't coming to me. It was coming from me. That night, I decided I couldn't take it anymore. The calls, the whispers, the waiting. I needed it to end. When the clock blinked 3:06 a.m., I was already sitting by the phone, staring at it like it was a loaded weapon. 1 minute later, right on cue, it rang. The sound was sharper this time, metallic, almost hungry. I felt it vibrate through the floorboards. My fingers trembled as I picked up. "What do you want?" I hissed. Silence. Then, my name, whispered, slowly. Drawn out like something savoring the taste of it. And it wasn't coming from the phone. It was coming from behind me. I turned. The apartment was pitch dark. The overhead light had burst, glass shards scattered like tiny stars across the carpet. But I could still hear it, breathing in sync with mine. My heart thudded so hard it hurt. The phone buzzed again, but it wasn't in my hand anymore. The sound came from my pocket, my phone, my real phone, vibrating on its own. When I pulled it out, the screen was black except for one glowing name, me. I stared at it, and then it started to move. The phone slid out of my palm, slowly, impossibly across the floor, trailing a faint hum of static like a live wire. The shadows around it thickened, pulsing, alive. Something stepped out of them. It looked like me, but stretched thinner, darker, smiling with my mouth, but wrong. Too wide, too knowing. The eyes were hollow, yet they saw me completely. Every regret, every weakness, every moment I'd whispered to myself that I was lonely. You called, it said with my own voice. I backed up, shaking my head. No, I didn't. You answered. Every instinct screamed to run, but I didn't. I stepped closer. Maybe it was insanity, maybe defiance. Maybe the realization that if I ran, I'd never stop running. The air around us thickened, electric. My reflection, my other, tilted its head, still smiling. This is where you end, it whispered, or begin. And for the first time I understood, it wasn't trying to haunt me. It was trying to replace me. So I lunged forward, into the shadow, straight at myself, and the world shattered into ringing silence. I don't remember leaving the apartment. One moment I was in the dark. The next I was outside, barefoot, rain-soaked, lungs burning. I ran until the streets blurred, until I couldn't tell if the pounding in my ears was from fear or from the echoes of that endless ringing. When I finally stopped, I was miles away. I looked back once, half expecting to see something following. But the street was empty. Just the hum of streetlights and the steady drip of rain from the eaves. I didn't go back. Not that night. Not ever. I found a cheap motel on the edge of town, flickering neon sign, water-stained ceiling, the kind of place where no one asks questions. For a while, I thought maybe I'd outrun it. But then, at 3:07 a.m., the phone on the nightstand rang. I froze. It wasn't my ringtone, but I knew that sound. It was the same metallic chime, that same mechanical hunger. I unplugged the phone, threw it into the hallway, but even then I could still hear it. Faint, inside my head. Days bled into one another. I stopped answering calls, stopped sleeping properly. My friends came by once, after I didn't show up for work. They said I looked pale, different, like something had hollowed me out and left me running on echoes. I told them I was fine. They didn't believe me, but they never heard the ringing, not once. Sometimes I'd catch it in small places, the reflection of a shop window, the back of a dark subway car, the edge of a mirror, a flicker of movement that shouldn't be there, a face that smiles just a heartbeat too late. I started tracing records again, searching online, trying to find a pattern, a cause, a name. But every lead led back to the same empty loop, my own number, my own voice. And now I can't tell what's real anymore. The ringing doesn't come from phones now. It's in the hum of lights, the whisper of wind through wires, the steady rhythm under my skin. The voice, my voice, doesn't ask anymore. It waits. And every night, just before I drift into that fragile, exhausted sleep, I hear it murmur from the dark corner of whatever room I'm in. Soon. Weeks turned into months. I moved 3 cities over, took a new job, even started using a different name, left everything behind, the apartment, the furniture, that cursed phone. I told myself it was all in my head, the stress of isolation, maybe a breakdown I never admitted to. Sometimes self-deception is the only thing that keeps you functioning. I bought a new phone, sleek, silver, untouched by the past. New number, new SIM card, clean slate. For a while, life almost felt normal again. I walked among crowds, laughed when others laughed, even started sleeping through the night. Until last Thursday. It was late, past midnight. The hotel room was quiet except for the low hum of the air conditioner. I was scrolling absent-mindedly when my new phone buzzed once. Just one sharp, familiar vibration that froze every muscle in my body. The screen lit up. Incoming call, my old number. I stared at it, my pulse hammering. Impossible. That number had been dead for months. I'd canceled the plan, smashed the SIM, left the pieces in another life. But it was there, clear as day, the digits I'd tried to forget. For a moment, I considered answering. I wanted to. Maybe to prove to myself that it wasn't real, that it was just a glitch, a ghost in the system. My thumb hovered over the screen. The ringtone played once, twice, 3 times, each one slower, heavier. Then it stopped. Silence. I let out a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding, set the phone down, and backed away from the nightstand. The room felt colder somehow, the shadows deeper. And then, from the bathroom mirror, I saw it. A faint reflection standing behind me, smiling. I didn't turn around, because some fears aren't solved. Some shadows don't vanish. They wait, patient, until you pick up the line again. And maybe the cruelest truth of all is this. Sometimes the call doesn't come from the other side. It comes from the part of you that never left. So tell me, what would you do if the call came for you? If this story sent chills down your spine, give it a like. It helps more people discover stories like this one. Subscribe for daily spine-tingling tales that blur the line between reality and nightmare. Share this video with someone who loves a good scare. Thanks for listening and watching. There's another story waiting for you on your screen. See you back here tomorrow, if you can still sleep tonight.